Hello everyone. Now we are going to look at 5 things to remember with a try catch finally block in Java. I'm going to explain with a coding example. So these are all the 5 things. The first one, we can't write only a try without catch or finally. So let me demonstrate that first. So if I write only a block, so it is throwing a compile time error. So you have to remember whether we will get a compile time or a runtime error. So it will help you to solve any quiz or coding questions. So if you look at now, so this is asking me to insert finally to complete a statement. So I can insert finally now. Or we can have only a catch also. So we should have either catch or finally. Now I'm going to put everything. A try block, since we don't have any exception. So we didn't have this exception occurred. This is out in the console. We didn't see. And a finally block will always run. And a second one, if you are having a multiple exception, if you are handling in your method, you have to be make sure that subclass exception should be handled first and a superclass should be handled next. In or reverse that, will get a compilation error. As all of us know that exception is a superclass for every exception. So if you look at now, I just have a catch block of exception and then arithmetic exception. So if you look at, we'll have an unreachable catch block because the exception catch block itself will handle any exception. So it's not required. So if you want to handle both, you have to be make sure like this. So we can handle. And one more thing, we have a multiple exception can handle in one single catch block. So that is again a 1.7 version feature. So we can have, let's put null pointer exception. So if you look at here, we can handle it multiple exceptions within a single catch block. But in a condition will apply. You can't have a superclass subclass. Like if you are handling only exception, you can't have any exception later. Or if you are handling a exception, or a file not found exception, can't handle like this because IO exception is already handled a file not found exception, so we can't have handle like this. Let me put arithmetic exception. And let me remove this exception class. And third one, our finally block will always run whether exception occurred in a try block or not, it will always run. So to demonstrate that, let me pass one variable here, 0, 10. Look at now, it will throw an exception. Even then a finally block will get executed. Previously we have seen a finally block executed successfully after a try block. So now also, if you look at, we got an exception, then finally block. So this will always run. There is one exception here as well. If you are running a thread with a try catch finally, then you have to be make sure thread should be handled properly. Whether it is interrupted or killed abnormally, then a finally block may not get executed. And another one, a JVM exit. So our JVM exited, then also our finally block will not get executed. Those cases you have to be make sure. So to demonstrate a JVM exit, you can see here a try block. With that, I'm calling a system exit, so which will exit our JVM. Look at now, I can run this. Only a try block or finally block will not get executed. So these two cases we have to be make sure. Otherwise, our finally block will always run. If you want to close any resources, or if you want to run few commands even with the exception occurred cases, we can write it in finally block. So if you want to close resources with a try with resources concept, it's also not required. If you want to know more about it, again I have given a separate video link for that, you can look that. And then fourth one, we can't write any statement between a try catch finally. So let me run right here. So if you look at, we will get a compilation error. The same with catch finally as well. Can't write it here, so we will get compilation error. But we can write after a try block or after finally block or before try block. So we can write it like this. So if your method, let me remove system exit and let me pass through here. You won't get exception. So for a normal try block, successful try block, then finally block, and this statement will get executed. So if it is exception occurred, so if you look at, it is executed. If you are returning some values to calling method, then you have to be make sure the statement after a finally block statement may not run. So the last one, uh, any exception which is throwing with the try catch finally, whichever exception is thrown will be propagated to a calling method. To demonstrate that, let me add a throws here. So here now I'm going to it is 0 is passed, we got an exception. I'm going to do a calling method. So if you look at exception which is occurred only here is in the try block, so we have thrown that. In case if you are finally block also throwing an exception, now we don't have any situation, I'm just throwing new exception. So if you look at now, only a finally block, this arithmetic exception, they are not printing, then we will miss this. So this will make little issues while you are backtracking the error. So just to be make sure that exception is throwing properly to a calling method, and finally block should not throw any exception, or you have to handle properly so that you will avoid the collisions. Thank you. Happy learning.